and welcome to AFI Fest. I'm Sarah Harris, the Director of Programming for AFI Festivals. I'm thrilled to be here today to introduce our Indie Contenders panel, sponsored by our partner, The Hollywood Reporter. Bringing such wonderful talent together for conversation about indie filmmaking has made this summit session a favorite at AFI Fest for many years. And now I'll turn it over to our moderator, Scott Feinberg, columnist and blogger at The Hollywood Reporter. Scott?
All right, let's meet our panelists. On behalf of Kenneth Branagh's focus film Belfast, in which he plays the matriarch of a family caught up in the troubles of Northern Ireland, please welcome Katrina Balfe. On behalf of Michael Sarnowski's neon film Pig, in which he plays a man whose truffle hunting pig is kidnapped, please welcome Nicolas Cage. On behalf of Janixa Bravo's Zola, in which he plays an unhinged pimp presiding over a dangerous road trip, please welcome Coleman Domingo. On behalf of Fran Kranz's Mass, in which she plays half of a couple that sits down with the parents of a child killed by their own child, please welcome Ann Dowd. On behalf of Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Lost Daughter, in which she plays a young mother who befriends an older mother vacationing on the same beach, please welcome Dakota Johnson. And last but certainly not least, on behalf of Sean Baker's Red Rocket, in which he plays a has-been porn star who returns to his hometown, please welcome Simon Rex. All of you, thank you so much for making the time to do this. And I think that what I want to just do right off the bat is establish these are some, this is a panel celebrating indie film, work in indie film. Some people might ask in 2021, what even is an independent film? Because the lines have blurred a bit. According to Film Independent, it is now one made for $22.5 million or less. And I know in some of the cases here, it's quite a bit less. So I just think maybe before we get into anything else, if you are familiar with both your film's budget and how many days you shot, just so people have a bit of context as we go forward, I hope you can share that. Dakota?
I think ours was 5 million as well. And it was around the same 28 days, maybe 26.
Mm-hmm. I guess let's talk about what most drew you to these projects. You guys have all been involved with projects that are considerably larger and in terms of budget or shooting schedule or all of that. So just to pinpoint, Dakota, I think you guys were also in the midst of COVID, right? It really affected you guys, but I don't think anyone will feel too sorry about where you were trapped for this movie. Can you want to share just how it crossed your radar and then where you wound up?
Yeah. I read the script and met with Maggie before lockdown happened, before the pandemic happened. And then obviously all schedules were just completely quieted and things were pushed. And I mean, like typical, you read a script and then maybe get to meet with the director. And Maggie and I had a lunch, and I had never read anything like what she wrote. And I wish it was more common for people to, when they like a film, to be able to read the script afterwards. I think that would be a really cool sort of like database to have, because you see this incredible, I don't know, it was an incredible script. And I was really kind of, she always catches me off guard, Maggie. She always kind of like blows my mind. And we had a lunch, and then a few weeks went by, and then she asked me if I would come and read, and I did. And I read with her in a casting office, which was scary. And then we shot the movie in Greece.
Well, yeah. And we should just say, though, I mean, first of all, that might have been a great place to be, but also this is her, she probably had plenty of reason to be, anxious going into this. This is her first time directing, but I think also screenplay. And and did you know each other at all prior to this from just being fellow actors, or was totally out of the blue?
A little bit. I had met her a few times, but I didn't know her.
Yeah.
And it's really such a gift to know her. She has an incredible mind and an incredible heart. And she adapted this, the Elena Ferrante novel, in a way that is just so badass. It's not, it's not like a cover of the book. She really allowed this novel to do something to her heart. And then what she came out with is something really different than the book. And she had Elena Ferrante's blessing, which was very cool and really sort of mysterious because they still have never spoken. They've only corresponded, and we don't know if she's seen the movie. But she really wanted Maggie to make it her own. And I found that to be so brave and so inspiring to be so affected by someone else's work of art that it then translates into something that you think maybe other people might relate to because it's how you were affected by it. I think maybe that's also like why it's a smaller film and why I love it and love indie films, is because you're not being spoon-fed information. You're not being told how to feel, and when you leave a movie theater, sometimes you leave like patting yourself on the back, like, well done, I got the message that everyone else got. But when you leave a film like this and these movies, you leave with your own interpretation of what happened. And I would rather make films like that. I would rather provoke many different feelings and thoughts and experiences rather than, like dull someone's mind for 2 hours.
Well, and a lot of people first came to know about you through bigger scale movies, 50 Shades and others. And I wonder if you would say that, do you find that, I think Nick sort of alluded to this, but like, do you find that you feel more free to in crafting a performance in an indie, or that I guess it seems like to do more daring, risky things might be easier in a movie where the stakes aren't, not that the stakes aren't high, but the budgetary stakes aren't as high.
Yeah, it's tricky because I think in larger studio films, there's kind of now becoming this sort of like horns locked battle between the new school and the old school. And there's still people running studios who have very antiquated mindsets of what a movie should be, what stories should be told, who should be in them, how they should be made. And I think that in a way, yes, you have, I feel like I have more freedom on an indie film just because everyone is really working hard to be there. And if you're lucky enough to be on a set that is, the environment feels safe, then everyone kind of works to their extreme potential. And I have felt, I think, on studio films, especially something like 50 Shades, that you really was almost like an algorithm. Like you really had to get certain things right rather than just tell the truth. And I think larger films are oftentimes scared of the truth.
Dakota and Coleman, you're both for these performances directed by female filmmakers. Dakota, Anne, and Katrina directed by a fellow actor. Just wonder if any of that actually makes a difference. They, again, probably would have been just statistically less likely to happen with a larger scale project. I just wonder if is it important to you that does it make a difference to you when you're Dakota, your female, your director's a woman or a fellow actress who's been given an opportunity that might not have happened in a bigger project?
Yeah, I think especially for this one, because the thing about The Lost Daughter is that these women are not the normal women you see on screen. They are conflicted and they are troubled and they have thoughts and feelings that are not usually talked about. And I think the thing that I find fascinating after, having people see this movie and talk to Maggie, a lot of women are like thanking her in a way. And thanking her for writing these women who have complicated feelings around womanhood and motherhood, and maybe not thoughts and feelings that are widely accepted, but like everyone has them. Every parent at some point is like, fuck this fucking sucks. And there's a difference between having the thought and then doing the action. And like you were saying before, some people are maybe considering that perhaps Olivia's character is unlikable because of what she does, but why? Just because that's what we've known for so long? I just don't really agree. And I think also one of the things that Elena Ferrante said to Maggie when she was writing the script was that Leda, Olivia's character, cannot be crazy. She's just a human woman. And then Nina, who is a young mother, is just like completely trapped in this life, and she will never ever be seen as a real human with a mind and a heart. And it's horrible, but that's also so real for so many people. And I guess it's less of escapism and it's more like a slap in the face. It's more reality. And I think Maggie, being a woman and also an actress, gave all of us this really safe space to go to very extreme places. Whether it ended up in the film or not, I think, she was there and she knows what it feels like to be an actor acting. And that is like a really difficult thing to articulate, what that feels like at any given time of the day. You could be like 6 o'clock in the morning doing a sex scene, and then by noon you're at some family dinner or a funeral or a wedding. You're like, fuck, I feel crazy. And she really gets that. And she, I don't know. I never worried about being stupid, and I never worried about not being seen, and I never worried about not having, a lot of the movie takes place on the beach, and I never worried about what my body looked like, and none of the women did, and that was fucking cool because I made a big naked trilogy, and that was a thing every day was like, okay, what are you going to do though? It was like constantly protecting myself, never ever feeling protected.
Trying to remember, were any of the installments female directed? I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember.
The first one, Sam Taylor Johnson directed the first one, but then the second and third was directed by James Foley.
Mm-hmm. I just came from Middleburg, in Virginia, and just to have these people who simply love film. It's just something happens when you're with people like that who just love it, and it's important to their lives and their well-being. It's essential. It's fantastic.
I think you were there too, Dakota, right? Or was that middle? I'm confusing
I was there, but I was also saying for like 6 days that I was going to Vermont, and
what does that mean?
She got you could.
I don't know where I am. I've been to so many film festivals.
Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I hear you, honey. Yeah.
And we're gonna come to some of those in a moment, Dakota. But let's go to Dakota, because you've been, as you mentioned a moment ago. I don't know how you know where you are right now, because you've been at a ton of major ones. You guys started in Venice, then came to Telluride, where I know Simon also was, and then went to New York, which is those three couldn't be more different. And I guess I wonder if you want to try to explain to people who maybe haven't experienced those yet, just the differences and the different value of each of them.
Well, Venice is so glamorous, and you're there and you think about all of the great Italian filmmakers, and it's very dreamy, and going places in boats, and it's just ridiculous. It's like totally nuts that's a thing that exists. And then we went to Telluride, which I had never been to Telluride, but that festival is really special. I had not I think it's weird when either the festival is so humongous like Cannes or Venice, and everyone is just so beautiful and it's so glamorous and it looks so out of reach and just like not very soulful. And then there's these other festivals. Like I've found that Sundance even sometimes becomes too crazy, and it's like all the gifting suites, and I'm like, this isn't what movies are about. I don't understand having to like hold this bottle of water and take a picture. It has nothing to do with nothing. And then Telluride wasn't like that at all. And there was no paparazzi and there was no bullshit. And people just love to talk about movies. And, you know, we landed there from Venice in the morning and then went straight to do this like really sweet class photo, which I thought was so cool. You know, I think part of the thing that I love so much about making movies is this camaraderie that you have on set. And it's like deeply bonding with the crew and the cat, everybody. And that, like, being at these festivals with all of these different filmmakers makes me feel like it's worthwhile. And there's a lot of things about this industry that make you feel like it's not worthwhile. And I like being around other filmmakers, and I like meeting, even just like being in the same room as people that I admire so much. And like, you know, standing near Jane Campion, I was like, yeah, cool.